Barry was born December 8, 1905 in Quebec City, Quebec, but grew up in Montreal and played amateur hockey for various teams in the city, where he earned the nickname Goal-A-Game Barry. Both the Montreal Canadiens and Montreal Maroons passed him over, so Barry signed with the New York Americans in 1927. He made his National Hockey League (NHL) debut in 1927-28 and scored 1 goal in 9 games for New York. Barry spent the majority of the season in the Canadian American Hockey League (CANAM) League with the Philadelphia Arrows. He remained in the CANAM League for the 1928-29 season, where he was a member of the New Haven Eagles. Barry led the league in both goals, 19, and points, 29. Barry battled Art Chapman for the scoring title, which he ultimately won on the final day of the season. The Boston Bruins claimed Barry from the Americans in the intra-league draft in May 1929, and from that point he remained in the NHL. He missed only 2 games total in the following 10 seasons. Barry recorded 18 goals and 33 points in 1929-30 for a Bruins team that set an NHL record with 38 wins in a 44-game season. Barry scored 3 playoff goals to help Boston eliminate the Maroons in the semi-final, but Boston was defeated by the Canadiens in the Stanley Cup final. Barry rapidly developed into one of Boston's top offensive threats. He averaged 23 goals per season in his 6 years with the team. The Bruins named him team captain in 1933, led the team in goals for 3 consecutive seasons between 1931 and 1934 with 21, 24 and 27 respectively, and was the team's leading point scorer 3 times between 1932 and 1935. He was also among the league scoring leaders and finished 7th in the NHL with 37 points in 1932-33, 4th with 39 points in 1933-34, and 8th with 40 in 1934-35. A disputed goal by Barry was the flashpoint in the first-ever NHL forfeit on March 14, 1933. Barry scored a controversial overtime goal for Boston in a home game versus the Chicago Blackhawks. At the time, NHL overtime for regular season play consisted of a full 10-minute period. An enraged Chicago coach, Tommy Gorman, punched referee Bill Stewart. Stewart summoned the police to remove Gorman from the visitors' bench. The Blackhawk players refused to continue the game without their coach. The game was forfeited to Boston shortly thereafter. Barry was involved in a major trade prior to the 1935-36 season. The Bruins sent Barry and Art Giroux to the Detroit Red Wings on June 30, 1935, in exchange for Cooney Wayland and Walt Buswell. With Detroit, Barry centered a high-scoring line with Herbie Lewis and Larry Aury as his wings. Barry finished 3rd in the NHL with 21 goals and 2nd with 40 points. In the opening game of the playoffs, Barry played in the longest game in NHL history, a 1-0 victory over the Montreal Maroons that required 6 overtime periods to determine a winner. The Red Wings defeated the Maroons in the playoff semi-final before defeating the Toronto Maple Leafs in the 1936 Stanley Cup final to claim Detroit's first NHL championship. Barry scored a goal in the clinching game, a 3-2 Detroit victory. Barry was a central figure for Detroit as the Red Wings repeated as champions in 1936-37. He finished 3rd in regular season scoring with 44 points, then led all players in goals, assists and points in the playoffs. In the clinching victory over the New York Rangers in the 1937 Stanley Cup final, Barry scored twice including the cup-clinching goal and added an assist in a 3-0 victory. He was named to the NHL's first All-Star team at center and won the Lady Byng Trophy as the league's most gentlemanly player. After a 1937-38 season in which Barry scored only 9 goals, he returned to the NHL leaderboard by finishing 4th with 41 points in 1938-39. The Red Wings spent several months attempting to trade the 34-year-old Barry to the Canadiens. When Montreal feigned a lack of interest, Detroit eventually granted him his outright release and made him a free agent shortly before the 1939-40 season began. 2 days after his release, the Canadiens signed Barry to a contract. His tenure with Montreal was short-lived, however. After scoring only 4 goals and 14 points in 30 games, Montreal released Barry from his contract. He signed on with the Pittsburgh Hornets of the International American Hockey League (IAL) to complete the year. Barry played his final season of professional hockey in 1940-41 in the dual role of player-coach for the Minneapolis Millers of the American Hockey Association, AHA. Barry retired with 195 goals and 387 points in 509 NHL games. He was regarded as one of the league's best playmakers during his career and possessed a good scoring touch in close around the net. Barry was inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1965.